You tell people you're fine. You're not fine. You're 3 days behind on everything, running on 4 hours of sleep and mentally rehearsing an apology for a mistake you haven't even made yet. And when someone who actually loves you, looks at you and says, "Let me help," something in your chest slams shut. I've got it. You don't got it. You haven't got it in weeks. If that felt a little too specific, stay with me. Because there's one reason you do this, and it has almost nothing to do with pride. Let's normalize something first. Refusing help when you clearly need it isn't rare. It's not some rare personality glitch. It's especially common in people who look from the outside like they're handling everything. The ones who get called so strong, so independent, so put together. Ironically, the more capable you seem, the less likely anyone is to double-check if you're drowning, and the less likely you are to let them see it if you are. So why does this happen? Psychologists who study attachment have a name for part of this: self-reliant or avoidant attachment. It doesn't always come from a bad childhood. Sometimes it comes from a fine one, where needs were met but rarely emotionally acknowledged, where independence got praised and neediness got quietly discouraged. Maybe not punished outright, just met with a flicker of impatience. "You're okay," instead of a "come here." Enough times, and a kid learns something simple. Needing things is inconvenient. Handling things alone is safer. That lesson doesn't stay in childhood. It becomes the operating system. Here's the twist most people don't expect. Asking for help isn't actually processed by your brain as a neutral request. For someone wired this way, it can register almost like exposure, like you're handing someone evidence that you're not as capable as you present, evidence that could be used against you, even if no one in your current life has ever done that. The nervous system doesn't always update in real time. It's still running old code, protecting you from a threat that isn't actually in the room anymore. So you do the math without even realizing you're doing it. Asking costs something. Being seen, being a burden, being disappointing, and staying silent costs nothing. Except it does cost something. It costs you. Because here's the part that doesn't get said enough. This isn't a strength. It feels like one, it looks like one, especially to everyone around you who benefits from you never needing anything. But under the surface, it's quietly expensive. It's burnout you never let show. It's resentment that builds in relationships where you give constantly and receive almost never because you've made yourself impossible to help. It's isolation that doesn't look like isolation because you're surrounded by people. You're just never letting any of them in far enough to catch you. And maybe the hardest part? The people who love you don't feel closer to you because you never need them. They feel shut out. Help isn't just practical. It's one of the only ways other people get to prove they actually care. When you refuse it every time, you're not just protecting yourself. You're quietly keeping everyone at arm's length, including the ones who'd stay. So no, you're not too proud and you're not broken. You're running a survival strategy that made complete sense at the time it was built. It kept a version of you safe once. The problem is that version of you needed protecting from something that isn't happening anymore, and the system never got the memo. Here's the reframe. Needing help was never actually evidence against you. It's just information. You're a person, and people run out of capacity sometimes. That's not weakness. That's the baseline cost of being human, and pretending otherwise is what's actually unsustainable. You don't have to overhaul this overnight. You just have to notice it. The exact moment you feel that reflex to say, "I've got it," when you don't. That half second is where the old pattern lives, and that half second is the only place it can actually change. If this described you a little too well, you're probably also the one who ends up responsible for everyone else's problems, whether you asked for that job or not. That's next.